Hey there everyone, welcome to this week's video. Really happy you could join me, especially because today we are going to talk about one of my favorite things, which are shoes. And in particular, we're going to talk about high heels. Number one, how to buy them. Number two, what makes them more comfortable and what to look for. And number three, inserts and insoles you can add to your pre-existing shoes to make them a little bit more comfortable than what they already are. Now, I think it's important to lay a good kind of foundational statement when we are talking about high heels, and that is high heels contort your feet in a way that is unnatural for walking. Think about it. You know what? Pause this video and look at your feet for a second. I am certain they are not naturally in the position that they would be if you put them in a pair of high heels. As beautiful as high heels are, they can also be very painful because, well, they're not natural to your body anatomy. I've been trying to look for a lot of resources about how to make high heels more comfortable because, well, as a shoe lover, I have those same problems too. But I often run into very unrealistic things that people either believe or preach about shoes, and I think we need to be a little bit more critical when we are shopping for high heels. And the first thing I want to say is high heels are not going to be as comfortable as a pair of well-cushioned flats or as a runner. If that is what you're thinking, like, just forget about it. Especially if you're buying your very first pair of high heels, don't be misled by the people who are holding up a pair of 4-inch stilettos and telling you these are really comfortable. No, like, run in the opposite direction if a sales associate tried to sell you a pair like that and tell you this is great as your first pair of heels. It's not realistic, right? When I go and shop for shoes, I try to cap off my heel height at about 3.5 inches, which is the height of this pair of shoes right here. I think this height of a heel is perfectly beautiful, glamorous, sexy, is everything that you want a high heel to be, but still being realistic in terms of comfort. Now, how high of a heel you can wear comfortably depends on, of course, the design of the shoe, the cushioning, the insoles that you put in, but also actually a lot on your body anatomy. This is a whole lot of physics and human kinetics that I'm not going to get into in this video, but essentially I think for most people, 3.5 inches, which is what I have right here, is a perfectly good maximum for a walkable daytime heel for most people. A lot of my heels are generally either that or I prefer a 3-inch, which is even better. Now, there are certain things you can look for in a shoe, design-wise, that will tell you a bit more about their comfort level, and I'm going to use this pair as an example because it has a lot of those qualities, and it is one of my favorite shoes to wear if I'm going out and I need to be walking around. First thing, heel placement. You want to check that the heel is in the center of the back here because that offers you both stability and good balance. Because if your heel is way out here, as some shoe designs are, you are going to wobble around because the weight of where you're putting your weight in your shoe is both up front here and also in the back heel, so you want the stiletto to be perfectly placed in the center as much as possible. Second thing you want to look for is the curvature of the arc here. You don't want to have a straight diagonal curvature. You want to have like a well-rounded curve, right? If it is a straight diagonal here, you are not going to get a lot of arc support, and you are going to need extra cushioning for your arc, as most people do. Third thing you want to look for is, of course, flexibility of the shoe. Right here, this one is more flexible than, say, this pair that doesn't really flex at all. And these are qualities that exist in both a higher end shoe as well as a lower price point shoe. This pair is from H&M, and it is a very well designed functional pair of heels. I wear it very often myself. So those are a few things to look for. But the last thing I want to mention is actually the curve of the back here of the shoe. A shoe that has a good curve should really hug the back of your heel when you're wearing the shoe so you don't slip out of your shoes. Certain designs that I don't have an example with me, but they're cut more up and down like this, and they don't have a good bend over here. Then your heel will keep slipping out of the shoe and you're just flip-flopping around in your high heels, which is not only hazardous and really dangerous, but also really, really uncomfortable. So look for good heel placement, good arc over here, flexibility in the sole, and as well as a good curve at the back to hug your heels. So those are a few things to look for when you are shopping for high heel shoes. But it is also just as important to talk about insoles. So I'm going to go get mine and we'll come right back and talk a little bit more about that. Alright, I am back with my little basket of insoles, and I love insoles. I think they are a great way to make your shoes much more comfortable, and for me they're the better option versus a lot of those topical creams or gels that you can apply to your feet that claim to make your shoes painless or make it more comfortable to wear your high heels. Realistically, if you look at the ingredients in a lot of those topical painkillers for high heels, they contain numbing agents. One of the hottest selling and very social media popular products for wearing high heels actually contains lidocaine, which is essentially something that cuts off the pain receptors in your nerves to make you not feel the pain. Doesn't mean that the pain does not exist. You're just putting anesthetic on your feet, which I think is fine for a fancy night out or when you really need it for that very special day or something like that. But to use it day in and day out, I don't know how, number one, healthy, and number two, realistic it is to just put anesthetics on your feet every single time you want to wear heels. So I think insoles are just a lot better and less scary way of going about making your shoes much more comfortable. Okay, let's talk about a few of the pairs that I own. So I guess we should start here with this little package. These are from Money's Worth and Best. Doesn't matter what brand they are, but these are heel grips. Now, when I talk about your shoes having a good curvature at the back so that it cups your heels, well, certain shoes don't. And if you don't, you might need some of this to go on the back of your heel just to give you a bit more cushion, number one, prevent that rub at the back of your heel. You know, that really painful rub where your band-aids always end up going? Yeah, that part. Also give a little bit more cushion. I've tried a couple of these ones. I prefer the ones with a bit more texture. These are suede or faux suede, I'm not sure which, but because they're a bit more textured, they give you better grip. I tried a different brand. I want to say it's Dr. Scholl's, but I can't be absolutely certain. But they are like come in colorful material, and they're kind of like a polyester fabric texture. They are way too slippery even though they have good cushion. So you do want something, either a gel or some kind of a textured fabric that gives you good grip at the back of your heel. So these are great for shoes that are either a little too big and they slip out, or you tend to get blisters at the back of your heel, or your heels just don't have that good curve at the back. These will help you out. Then actual insoles, I have a few here. Partial insoles, ones that go at the front of your shoe for the front of your foot, are great. There are ones with the glue or the stickies at the back. I have these ones. They're just gel. They are not glued down. I don't mind, depending on what shoes I'm wearing. They stay just fine for me. But these are great because they offer you the extra squish and extra cushion when you are walking, and they are completely discreet when you put them in your shoes, of course. If you don't need the back support for your shoes and you just want the front, these partial ones are excellent. They are pretty affordable, I would say, and a lot of different brands make them. Now, if you are wearing something that is very slim, a very narrow type of shoe or something like that, you might want to consider these ones. These are the Dr. Scholl's, I think, high heels. They have a lot of arch support right here, which is interesting, but they are very slim cut, so they fit in slim shoes, or if you have narrow feet and you wear narrow sized shoes, these might be a good option. Again, they're also gel. They have these massaging things at the front and at the back, so that is an option as well. Well, my personal favorite, I do have to say, if you can get away with putting these in your shoes, if your shoes are more of a full-on high heel, like a loafer style or something like that, that just has more shoe to it, aka what I mean is, no cutouts or things like that, so the inserts can stay discreet. I love these. These are super comfortable. They are what I put in my boots as well. As my shoes. Now these don't fit in most of my high heels, unfortunately, but they do fit in my high heel loafers and things like that, so that's been great. These have a lot of massaging gels at the back, which makes it super just squishy and gives you a bit more relief as you are walking. They also have a fabric upper, which is nice, but these tend to be thicker, so if you are in a pair of shoes that are not very high at the back, don't use these because they will kind of raise the shoe and then you won't get as much depth in the shoe for your foot to sit in, if you know what I mean. But these are great if you can get away with putting these in your shoes. They are really, really comfortable. Now there are also this pair that I have. I think this is also from Dr. Scholl's, just because they have the most variety of insoles for shoes. These I can fit in a lot of my regular high heels and a lot of my pump high heels because they are slimmer than something like this. These are gels. Again, they have a bit of support here for the inside of your arc, and they have the massaging things in the front and back, a little less thick than the other ones I just showed, but also great for stilettos or pumps if you wear that around all the time. So those are kind of my quick guide to insoles. I use different ones for different types of shoes depending on what I am wearing. Obviously, if you find the right one, they will not show and no one will know that you're wearing them, which is great. So I highly recommend having a couple of options on hand, and I just keep them in my little basket here. I take them out every single time, so next time when I go reach for a pair of shoes, I know exactly where are my insoles, number one, and I can just figure out which one fits in the shoe and what I want to use for the day. So those are my quick tips for shoe shopping, finding the most comfortable pair that you can, what to look for, what insoles to use. I hope this was really helpful for you and also realistic and practical. So if you got any questions, feel free to leave them for me down below in the comment section. If you love this video, give this a big old thumbs up so I know as well. Share this with your family and friends over on social media to spread the love about shoes, because you know, shoes are really, really great. Until next time, take wonderful care of yourselves. And if you got a shoe tip, by the way, let me know, because I could use some of that always. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.